Hello and welcome to the old Fliers. Flight in turbulence is not fun and can result in air sickness or injury to passengers or even damage to the aircraft. Air behaves much like water in the ocean with waves, currents and swells. At lower altitudes, an aircraft may contend with standing waves over buildings or mountains or thermals caused by the unequal heating of the Earth's surface. At higher altitudes, there are jet streams and convection clouds like thunderstorms. The advice given to passengers to remain buckled up in their seats is once again demonstrated as essential after Singapore Flight SQ321 London to Singapore was hit with severe turbulence over southern Myanmar just 10 hours into the flight. 30 people were injured and one man died of a suspected heart attack. The cabin crew were serving breakfast at 7:49 a.m. local when the Boeing 777-300ER hit severe turbulence. The Boeing was cruising at 37,000 feet when it deviated to 37,400 and then to 36,925 feet. It is the violence of this deviation that injures passengers and crew not buckled up. The pilots diverted to Bangkok where medical help was available. This event has been categorised as the second highest intensity on the 6 levels for turbulence as tabled by Australia's Civil Aviation Safety Authority. These levels are light chop, slight, rapid and somewhat rhythmic bumpiness without appreciable changes in aircraft attitude or altitude. Light turbulence, slight erratic changes in aircraft altitude and or attitude. Occupants may feel a slight strain against seatbelts. Unsecured objects may be displaced slightly. Cabin service may be conducted and there may be little to no difficulty walking. Moderate chop, rapid bumps or jolts without appreciable changes in aircraft altitude or attitude. Moderate turbulence. Changes in an aircraft altitude and or attitude occur, but the aircraft remains in positive control at all times. It usually causes variations in indicated airspeed. Occupants feel definite strain against seatbelts. Unsecured objects are dislodged and cabin service and walking are difficult. Severe, large, abrupt changes in aircraft attitude and or altitude usually causes large variations in indicated airspeed. Aircraft may be momentarily out of control. Occupants are forced violently against seatbelts. Unsecured objects are tossed about and cabin service and walking are impossible. Extreme. Aircraft is violently tossed about and is practically impossible to control, may cause structural damage. Severe turbulence is exceedingly rare, says Steve Cornell, a pilot and safety and technical director at the Australian and International Pilots Association. In 15,000 hours of flying experience, I've encountered severe air turbulence just once, so it is a rare occurrence. Violent, clear air turbulence leaves crews with little time to react. If it is unexpected, then it's a bit late, says retired pilot Hugh Dibley, an expert on aircraft upsets at the Royal Aeronautical Society. You hope to get warnings from other aircraft in the area and slow down to make sure the effects are minimised. NASA says it is developing an early warning system that relies on ground-mounted infrasonic microphones to detect clear air turbulence hundreds of miles away. Austria-based tech startup Turbulence Solutions says it is developing technologies to eliminate up to 80% of turbulence. But industry experts caution any new aircraft systems must be proven to work to a high level of reliability, and it takes years of rigorous testing before technology can be validated. The fact that the passengers on this flight weren't warned to return to seats and buckle up is evidence that the pilots weren't expecting trouble. All modern commercial jets are built to cope with forces many times those experienced in flight, Paul Hayes said. But According to Swedish turbulence forecasting website Turbulence, the feeling experienced by passengers varies from plane to plane and seat to seat. Long planes can feel most turbulent at the back, and the ideal spot is around the centre of gravity, which is typically just ahead of the wings. Boeing's high-tech 787-9 with a gust alleviation system from Honeywell ranks first for handling turbulence, according to Turbulence. It is equipped with traditional weather radar but does not have the newer 787's alleviations system. Mr. Tonkin said the incident highlighted the importance of wearing a belt when seated. That's why we always say to make sure if you're seated in the cabin to have your seatbelt on, so that if something does like this happen, you're ready for it, he said. Among the most exposed to injury are crew who must tour the cabin to check that seatbelts have been fastened when signs go on. A report from the University of Reading last year suggested turbulence could worsen with climate change. Our latest future projections indicate a doubling or trebling of severe turbulence in the jet streams in the coming decades if the climate continues to change as we expect, said Professor Paul Williams, one of the authors. It's too early to definitely blame climate change for the recent apparent increases in turbulence. Increased media coverage, aided by in-flight video footage from passengers' mobile phones, may well be a factor, Williams added. Channel 7 reported the incident that night, and Chris Reason gave a good account of the risk of turbulence. A link to that report is here. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to encourage new content.